Let's talk now about your influences.
Okay.
Who are the guitar players that influenced you the most?
Well, I think most people who know me know that my first major influence was Van Halen. You know, a brief history of my development was that I took a few lessons when I was about 10 years old. I didn't learn anything significant except, you know, things like that. And I really just wanted to play chords. I wanted to be able to at least play music that I could sing to, and me and my brother could sing, and, you know, singing along with Creedence Clearwater Revival or, you know, any band from the 70s. So I finally learned some chords from a guy that was a little bit older than me at the time, and then about 2 years later, that same person came back and visited me and bent a note in front of me, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So that was the first time I even thought about lead guitar. I never even knew what it was. So for the next few months I was just bending everywhere, and from that I discovered like pentatonic scales, that kind of stuff. And I didn't really know what I was doing exactly, but I did know that if I heard a song come on the radio, I could, you know, if the song was like, I could sort of figure out that, okay, let's see, I can go here. My ears were able to connect with certain patterns that were mainly pentatonic. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew that I could play along with stuff. And then I learned, you know, it was easy for me to learn like all the Jimmy Page stuff, and that was easy. But I didn't take the guitar that seriously. I didn't practice very much. It just came kind of natural. And then when Van Halen came out, it was like, wow, there was a whole other level of playing. And that's when I became really dedicated to the guitar, and I got serious, and that's when I started 6-7 hours a day kind of thing. And it's shortly after that I started to discover certain things about music theory and harmony on my own, and from reading articles and just trying things and asking a lot of questions. And then I just started listening to almost every guitar player that's significant out there. I mean, anybody from Yngwie Malmsteen to George Benson to John Scofield to Alan Holdsworth to Albert Collins to Steve Ray Vaughan, and anybody that was ever significant on any level influenced me along the way. And that's really how I developed. And so even by the time I got my record deal in 1988, I could have done an album that was a lot less rock at that point, but the record label at that point was very much a heavy metal label. And so the demos that I'd sent him were kind of like high energy Larry Carlton. And he said, you know, this is cool. So he said that this was cool, but that we needed something that was a little more rock sounding. So.
Do you need anything?
I need just my tracks.
So along the years you've played with many great artists. I know it's a tricky question, but what is the best memory you have, or one of the best memories you have from everything?
Wow, so many of them. I don't know. I would have to think about that a little bit more. It's tough for me to. There's so many great ones.
I guess so. So maybe if you think of one before the end of the interview.
Well, I mean, you know, one of the most outrageous things that ever happened to me was that I had to learn Michael Jackson's whole set in like a day, and then perform in front of 65,000 people. You know, basically about 30 hours after I got the phone call. So that was a really intimidating but at the same time an amazing experience, and probably one of the more memorable ones. Okay. I don't normally talk like this, by the way. I have a cold, so anybody who's laughing at my voice just knows it.
And what musician or artist you played with impressed you the most? I know this is very tricky.
Yeah, it's very tricky. I mean, they all impress me on certain levels. Dennis Chambers is just always just blows me away, no matter what. So, no matter what ever happens when I hear him, it's always just amazing. So it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. So but everybody that I've played with that's great is truly great. So it's hard to really say.
And any guitar players impressed you?
Oh,
many as well.
Tons. So many of them. It's hard to even, it's hard to know where to start.
And who are the artists you'd like to play within in the future?
Well, I think like many people, I would love to play with an artist like Sting. That would be a great situation because the music is mainstream, but at the same time, it's very musical and it's very much, it maintains a lot of integrity on a musical level. So an artist like that would be a lot of fun. I love Seal, that would be great. Stevie Wonder would be great to play with. Stevie Wonder would be maybe the ultimate gig for me, but there's tons of artists out there. I mean, I could just keep going.
Okay, it's time for the only one guitar gear related stuff.
Okay.
Because we noticed you have a Laguna.
Yes.
And we don't know anything about this. Can you tell us?
Sure. The guitar, Laguna is a company that's been around for a few years, about 3 years maybe. And the company was started by a guy by the name of Keith Brawley. Keith Brawley used to have a company called Brawley Guitars back in the early part of the 2000s, 2001. And then he became the head of sales and marketing, or actually the head of sales and something at Guitar Center, which is a gigantic music chain outlet in the United States, and designed a guitar to release through that company. So basically, it's a guitar from Guitar Center. And they approached me about coming on board and representing them. And I said that I would do it provided I was able to have a lot of input on my own design. And they were totally open to that. So they let me basically decide what I wanted to do. And most of the guitars that he had done were contoured tops or arch tops. I wanted a flat top. His had 3 single coils or 2 full-size humbuckers. And I wanted this configuration, which is a full-size and a mini humbucker. And then a super switch to get a lot of different configurations of splitting and coil tapping. And then the color was cool. I thought it was cool. It really pops the the maple top. He also didn't have a maple fretboard design, so I went with a maple fretboard. This is basswood. Most of the other ones are ash, swamp ash. So I did, basically mild changes. We also changed the headstock. The headstock that they had before mine was a little bit different, so the headstock design is a little bit different. This is an actual Floyd Rose, and the ones that they're using on some of the other models are licensed by Floyd Rose. So this is still sort of a work in progress. It's not the exact Greg Howe signature Laguna yet, but it's very close. It's probably very similar to what it will be. So they've just been a great company. It's great people. For me, a relationship with a company is just that. It's about a relationship. It's about how you interact with the other people. And it's as long as there's a way that everybody mutually benefits from coming together, then usually things end up being really good. So far this is great.